playoffs are here. It's the best time of the year, and I'm doing my power rankings. I'm going to be ranking every single NFL playoff team from 1 through 14.
You're my first interview since I got injured, so you're lucky. You're a good journalist.
You can compare your swing, the good one and the bad one, so you can see like the difference.
I'd like to notice that, man.
I love it. Man, I appreciate how good, glad that makes me feel.
To be honest.
The top team heading into the playoffs right now to me is still the Philadelphia Eagles. They finished with the best record in football with the Kansas City Chiefs. 14-3. They beat the Giants 22-16. They clinched the NFC East and they won the number 1 seed. And, it wasn't really too great of a performance against the backup team of the New York Giants because they already clinched a playoff spot last week in their win over the Colts. But Jalen Hurts had 230 yards, 1 interception, has a shoulder injury. He's still trying to recover from it, which is why he did not play that great. But again, it wasn't a high-quality win, so I am concerned about Philadelphia, but they are still the best team in the league, the most complete team, the number 2 defense, outstanding rushing offense with the best offensive line in football, led by an MVP candidate. So the Eagles, to me, are still the best. At number 2 are the Bengals. Cincinnati, they finished the season 13-3. Bengals at 2 is surprising for some people, but I think they're the best team in the AFC right now. They beat the Ravens 27-16 this past weekend, and they will play them again in the wildcard round this week at home in Cincinnati, being the number 3 seed. Of course, they're 13-3, didn't finish that game against the Bills because of Damar Hamlin's injury and that whole situation. Prayers up for Damar. He's doing much better out of the hospital, so that's great to hear from him. But the Bengals, to me, Joe Cool. Their defense is underrated. Burrow has been outstanding recently, so I think the Bengals are a little bit underrated, giving them some respect here. Number 3 come in the Kansas City Chiefs, get the number 1 seed in the AFC. Thanks to that whole Damar Hamlin situation, the Bills and Bengals not finishing their game, but the Chiefs finished their season on a high note, beating up the the Las Vegas Raiders 31-13 in Las Vegas, clinching the number 1 seed. Great win. Mahomes pretty much should win the MVP at this point. For me, the Chiefs defense is just not giving it to me at this point. I need to see more from that Chiefs defense, but good to see their offense kind of getting it back together. The Bengals are higher than the Chiefs at this point because the Bengals did beat them 27-24 on December 4th in Cincinnati. So I think the Bengals defense is slightly better, but we'll see. Mahomes, looking really good right now. Number 4 are the San Francisco 49ers. They started the season 3-4. They end up going 13-4, winning 10 straight games, starting when Christian McCaffrey was acquired in a trade acquisition. Huge move there. Has really helped their offense, and Brock Purdy came in 5-0 as a starter this season. Best defense in the league. They're going to be playing the Seahawks for the 3rd time this season, a divisional rival. In the wildcard round, should be an easy game for them. They beat the Cardinals 38-13, dominant fashion. They've been so dominant over the past 10 weeks, so hats off to the 49ers. A really dangerous team. I think Brock Purdy could end up being the first rookie quarterback to be in the Super Bowl. We'll see what happens, but really impressed with the 49ers for sure. Number 5 are the Bills. Yes, they're number 5 on my rankings, 13-3. They beat the Patriots 35-23, and unfortunately, they do not end up with the bye. They probably would have if they beat Cincinnati. Unfortunately, that game got canceled. We all know what happened. The Patriots even took the lead for a while in this game, but really the hero was my man Nyheim Hines, my friend, fellow MDA ambassador. Had him on my show last year. Really great guy. Had started off with a magical and really storybook kickoff return for a touchdown, 4-3 for Damar Hamlin, and had 2 kickoff return touchdowns. They don't win the game without both of those. Playing an easy wildcard game versus their division rivals Miami in the first round. And number 6 coming the Cowboys. They played their worst game of the season, a 26-6 loss versus the Commanders. in their last regular season game, and Dak Prescott had his worst game, under 40% completion percentage, had a pick six. He now has 15 interceptions, which leads the league. He's tied with Davis Mills. That's not impressive. Obviously, 7 of those interceptions are not his fault. They're either tipped at the line or miscommunications by the wide receiver. But still, it's been an issue. He's thrown an interception in 7 straight games. You cannot do that. They're going to be facing the Buccaneers on Monday night in the wildcard round, something you cannot do against Tom Brady, to turn the football over. So really not looking too good right now for them, but nevertheless, they still are a good team, top 10 unit on both offense and defense, one of the best offenses, and their defense just has not played great recently, but they still are very, very talented, so they need to play up to their potential, but everything's on the line versus Tampa, and end up the season 12-5, and at number 7, I have the Minnesota Vikings at 13-4. They beat the Bears 29-13. The Bears got the number 1 pick. They've been in so many close games. They won every single one of those. New head coach Kevin O'Connell's done a great job with this team, but to me, they just aren't legit. They got beaten up 40-3 versus the Cowboys, and they lost to the Lions, and I just don't think they're a legit team. I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up losing to the New York Giants in the wildcard round. Number 8, the LA Chargers. They just continue to get better and healthier. 10-7 finishing the season. They did lose versus the Broncos, but doesn't really matter. They already clinched a playoff spot. Joey Bosa should be back for this game. Maybe even Rashawn Slater, their offensive lineman. Herbert has been looking great. Really excited for that game versus the Jaguars. And at number 9 are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was talking about them. 8-9. They're the only team with a losing record heading into the playoffs. They won the NFC South again for the back-to-back seasons. They just have too many injuries to their offensive line. But Tom Brady, the GOAT, he's been looking as good as ever right now. In time for the playoffs, that connection with Mike Evans is really heating up at over 200 yards versus the Panthers in that must-win game. And they're a dangerous team. They could definitely make a deep run even at 8-9 because of course they're led by Tom Brady. Their defense is very fast. They're strong. They're tricky. Really interesting to see how Dak Prescott's going to be going up against them. At number 10, Jacksonville rounds off the top 10. The Jaguars, really an incredible young team, finishing 9-8, have played incredible over the last few games, and they won the AFC South on Saturday in Duval County over the Tennessee Titans 20-16. They end up with a winning record and a playoff appearance for the first time since 2018. Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick from last year, has been looking so good. Their defense stepped up big time. Josh Allen got, a fumble recovery for pretty much a game-winning touchdown. And I could see them beating the Chargers. We'll see what happens. Very, very impressed with the Jaguars here. And number 11, the New York Football Giants. They secured a berth last week. Obviously, they beat the Colts 38-10. Daniel Jones has actually played really good, only 5 interceptions. Their defense is really strong, really physical. They lost their backups barely to the Eagles, but Giants are a pretty physical team. Who knows? They might end up winning. But again, not a huge Daniel Jones guy, but we'll see what happens. Number 12, the Ravens, 10-7. They're not going to have Lamar Jackson back in time. So Tyler Huntley it is. They lost to the Bengals 27-16. They're going to be playing them again versus the Bengals. Really concerned about their offense right now. But their defense is still really good, and you still have a really great coach. So I'm sure they're going to figure out a way. The Seahawks, they come in here at number 13, 9-8. Sneak in as the Lions somehow beat the Packers on Sunday night in Lambeau Field. And at 9-8, they're really the biggest surprise of this season, and making the playoffs in what should have been a rebuilding year with Geno Smith, and they're going to end up with the top 5 pick in the draft as well from Denver. So really bright future for them, but I'm not expecting much from them, but they did beat the Rams at home 19-16 to help them reach the playoffs. And number 14 are the Miami Dolphins. They started the season 8-3. They finished 9-8, 1-5 in their last 6 games, so not a hot team. Barely beat the Jets 11-6 in a really strange game. Skylar Thompson, the 3rd string QB, is going to be starting for the Dolphins in their wildcard game versus the Bills, and no Tua Tagovailoa. Huge loss for them, which is why they are number 14 in my rankings, but I think the Bills are going to run over them. But those are my top 14. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment your thoughts on my rankings, and I will see you in the next one for my NFL playoff prediction.